This year's highly anticipated set, Pokemon 151, is coming out in just a couple weeks. That means I need to do my top 10 cards from the set. Just a reminder, these are the top 10 cards that I personally like the most, not the top 10 cards that you should go out and buy to try and make money. Now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into Pokemon 151's top 10 cards. The number 10 card is the Caterpie Art Rare. The perspective of this card is genius in my opinion. It's almost as if the camera or the viewfinder is sitting behind a leaf and the Caterpies have eaten out the leaf, and now you can see all of the Caterpies hidden inside the lush green that is this tree or forest or wherever they are. It's super cute, all the little Caterpies. I love the one like peering into us that's obviously eating the leaf. There's at least 3, maybe 4 Caterpies in the artwork overall. Kind of a Where's Waldo, like how many Caterpies are actually in the artwork. Caterpie is not a Pokemon that I would have suggested needed an art rare, but this completely blew my expectations away. Caterpie, one of the top 10 cards in the set. The number 9 card in the set is the Erica, not the special illustration version, but just the full art version. I think they're both great cards, very beautiful artworks of Erica, but to me, the background here of the cherry blossoms really makes the character stand out, and the setting really perfectly matches the character and the aesthetic. It's very beautiful. Erica would not have been my first choice as a female trainer to be included into 151. I mean, you have Misty. Misty is probably the most famous female trainer in Pokemon, period. Would have possibly been more appropriate for this particular set, but overall, I feel like the 2 Erica cards that we've got are gorgeous, and this one in particular really stood out to me as one of the best full art trainer cards in this set. The number 8 card in this set is this Mewtwo Art Rare. I love that he is hovering above the city, looking down on us peasants, us tiny little ants. The way that he's looking down on us really emphasizes the amount of power that he truly has. Of course, we know that he's one of the most powerful legendary Pokemon out there, and this card does a great job illustrating just that. Mewtwo being one of my favorite Pokemon and definitely my favorite legendary Pokemon, I love the portrayal here. It's a fantastic card, definitely deserved to be in the top 10. The number 7 card is the Pikachu Art Rare. One thing that just strikes me about this card is the amount of time you can look at it and find a new Pokemon. Whether it's in the foreground, the background, the middle ground, everywhere you look, there is a Pokemon in this artwork. I would love to know if the artist could come out and tell us how many Pokemon are actually hidden away here. It is just so full of detail, chock full of a ton of the Pokemon from 151. If you're looking really closely, you can see Psyduck, Blastoise, Gengar is in the foreground you may have missed if you're just looking at Pikachu. It's absolutely crazy. I love these Where's Waldo types where the more you look at a card, the more you discover about it. They continue as well to place Pokemon in real world environments. Like, this gives you a glimpse of what the world would look like if Pokemon were real. Walking down the street, different restaurants, different cafes, when you're just sitting outside with your gigantic Blastoise next to you. It's just a great artwork that feels almost like a celebration of all 151, and I'm glad that Pikachu was the one that got this sort of treatment. The number 6 card is the Mew EX Special Illustration Rare. This was really difficult to figure out which of the 5 and 6 cards would be 5 and 6. And it's probably pretty controversial for me to put this card at number 6 anyway. But for me, I really like the colors in this. We've seen a lot of sunsets, but we haven't seen an entire card that's pinks and oranges and yellows. I feel like it's pretty unique in that aspect. One thing that takes a little bit away from this card is how small Mew is, and Mew doesn't actually seem to be super integrated into the artwork. The Pokemon's not interacting with anything, nothing is interacting with the Pokemon. It's just kind of up in the left-hand corner of an artwork that could just be an artwork on its own. But there's so much detail, the colors are so vibrant, and I hope the English is able to convey with the texture what the Japanese version was, which basically had the texture around kind of the sun in the background that almost made it look like it was rising as you move the card around. It was super cool. Hopefully the English can capture that whimsical sort of texture that the Japanese did. And I should note that this card is not going to be a chase from the actual set. This card is a promo that is coming in the Ultra Premium Collection. So if you want to get your hands on one of these, it'll actually be kind of easy. You just have to buy one of the Ultra Premium Collections that I think you can find for around $100 to $110 right now on pre-order. The number 5 card is the Charizard EX Special Illustration Rare. You now probably know why I chose the Charizard over the Mew to be number 5, because I'm a massive Charizard simp. But being a massive Charizard simp, you might be asking, why isn't this card higher up on the list? As much as I love the art style, I love the color scheme, I love Charizard in the artwork. To me, there's just so many better artworks of Charizard. Again, kind of like the Mew, this could be just a landscape portrait that just feels like Charizard is kind of slapped on top. Now, I do love the story of the Art Rare line, where you have Charmander at the bottom of a cave, then you have Charmeleon that's kind of mid-level in the cave, and then you have Charizard flying out of the cave. I think it's a great little sequence that features all of the different art rares, but for me, this one just feels a little lacking. He's not really doing anything exciting, he's not doing an attack, he's not looking very menacing, he's not looking cute, like with the trainer or anything, he's just flying up into the sky. It's a beautiful art, but again, this is why it is number 5 and not higher up on my list. The number 4 card is the Dragonair Art Rare. One could probably make a really good argument that Dragonair is actually better designed than Dragonite. I think you actually could make that argument. When I first saw this card, I had a massive nostalgia hit. My favorite Pokemon games are Heart Gold and Soul Silver. What this card reminds me of is after you beat Claire in the Johto region, you have to go to the Dragon's Den. This card reminds me so much of what the architecture in the Dragon Den actually looked like. So this card, on top of being a gorgeous artwork of Dragonair, also gives me a massive nostalgia boner. The number 3 card is Arita's Blastoise EX. Not only does Arita deliver a masterful depiction of Blastoise here, he also gives us the best story in the line of starter art rares from Squirtle to Wartortle to Blastoise. Squirtle starts off on the beach just getting his toes wet, Wartortle is swimming just below the surface of the water, and Blastoise is down ruling the depths. Arita continues to show why he's one of the greatest of all time. Never in my life would I have thought I would be putting a Poliwhirl card as number 2 in a top 10 video. But just look at it. It really captures that walking on the sidewalk, Tokyo, in the rain, at night sort of vibe. There's just something calm and serene about it, and then to have a little Poliwhirl looking at his own reflection in the puddle is just so adorable. Poliwhirl is definitely not one of my favorite Pokemon from the original 151, but when you look at this card, you can't help but love him. He has a very childlike expression of curiosity, just so adorable. Last but certainly not least, my favorite card from Pokemon 151 is the Zapdos EX. Not only do we get a badass depiction of Zapdos, we also get the other 2 legendary birds in the exact same artwork, reminding us that the legendary birds truly rule the skies of Kanto. What's awesome too is they're actually depicted in order of which I liked them as a kid. I love Zapdos, he was my favorite of the legendary birds. Articuno was definitely number 2. I feel like he just had a better design than the Fire Chicken Moltres, who is definitely number 3. It's just a fantastic card. I love it so much. I hope that I pull it from some of the boxes that I've pre-ordered. The only downside, and it's a downside with Pokemon 151, is why did we not get an artwork like this for the 3 evolutions? Well, those are my top 10 cards of Pokemon 151. Let me know in the comments below which card are you most excited to pull from the set. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications for when my next video goes live.